Well, I mean, it's such a huge question that you ask, and it doesn't stop with drugs. The FAA, it could include airplane manufacturers. If in fact that the FAA has approved a particular manufacturer, a particular part, a component part, well then you can't sue the manufacturer if the plane goes down. Or if a certain pesticide, the EPA has approved a certain pesticide as safe and effective, and somebody, a village, a town, a small town in South Texas is harmed by that pesticide, well, you can't sue one of these huge pesticide manufacturers because the EPA said it was okay.
What about the tire companies like Cooper? I mean, I'm not picking on just one particular one, but that one comes to mind. I mean, and I'm worried for our consumers out there. It's getting hot. The rubber meets the road in South Texas. We worry about our children, everybody on the road. And let's just use one example. There's been litigation. It's a matter of public record on Cooper Tire.
We are currently litigating with Cooper, and we have, of course, litigated with Firestone in the past, but this tire tread separation is a horrible problem. And it has to do with heated vulcanized rubber, and suddenly you'll have a tire tread separation. We represent a family that lost their mother and wife. 3 children lost their mother, and a husband lost his wife in a horrible car accident. Was not speeding, was going the speed limit. Apparently no other issue involved except a tire tread separation. And this is something that, again, can potentially be affected by this preemption. Well, if a particular regulatory agency said that rubber's okay, well then you can't have a lawsuit against them. It's a crazy concept, but yes, I think that is also something that's occurring, and we see it every day here.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got 5 minutes left, but I just want to underline that all of the viewers out there, and now on YouTube too, don't forget, you can plug in and go on search term and watch any of them. We've got nearly 100 uploaded now and more coming out there. Somebody's got to get the word out. And lawyers have taken a beating for many years, and I say it's time to stop that, because you've got these lobbying groups, you've got these corporations, you've got insurance companies, and you've got all of these people together combined, the massive weight of their money and power and influence over politicians, and they're saying lawyers are bad, lawyers are bad, lawyers are bad. Guess what? Consumers start believing it, and once you separate a lawyer from his client, courthouse doors close. We've got the 7th Amendment right, the absolute right, your day in court. And more people are just buying it. It's Machiavellian, Dave. They say we're in a recession. It's hard to get by. You're not thinking a lot. So when the government's passing these things or saying it's preempted, and forgive my ignorance on this, but it's 4-4, isn't it, right now? The Supreme Court's looking at this, and it's scary that if they put a rubber stamp and say, gosh darn it, the regulatory agency said it's good, and you can never sue. I don't care if your baby girl died in a tire, separation, or your mother took these drugs and it poisoned her, or your daddy got an MRI and the gadolinium caused him to have renal failure and ended up dying a slow death with no cure. The Supreme Court's 4-4 on this, I understand.
It's going to be a close call, and there's a case called Wyatt versus Levine that's going to be heard October of this year.
Oh boy! That
everybody is worried about. And I was at the Supreme Court 2 weeks ago, sat in the front row, and in the Kent decision, and listened to our Supreme Court talk about this issue, and it's a big issue, and it could affect everybody. And I always say I come from a family of teachers. My father and mother. I have a brother and 3 sisters. All were teachers. Are teachers. And they always say, well, lawyers, they always look at lawyers kind of, are they really needed or not? And it's just interesting to me that, no one really knows what a lawyer does until they need one. And then suddenly it's a life or death situation, possibly for a loved one, and they realize it's an important issue. And sometimes we put it to the side because there's not that many catastrophic injuries. Maybe we're not affected this day, but one day, one of our loved ones will be affected. If it's not our family, direct family, it's somebody we work with or someone we care about deeply. And suddenly it's a very, very important issue at that time. And that's why we have to concentrate it now when these decisions are being made.
Well, the tight family that you have here in the Matthews Law Firm, you've got Jason Webster, your right hand, you've got Lizzie Cardenas, and you've got Julie Rhodes, great legal minds.
Dr. Jeb Waite.
And Dr. Jeb Waite. And the other qualified people that are working here with you. But you know, I admire you because you're taking on the weight of the pharmaceutical industry, and it's you guys. It truly is David versus Goliath.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I'm not sure that I can rise to the level of David, but it's certainly Goliath that we're fighting.
It's Goliath.
It's definitely Goliath.
Well, you know, we got a couple of minutes left. I just want to give you the floor, David, and let you send the message out there because this is the time. The time is now, ladies and gentlemen. It's an election year, and I always underline, if there is a concern you have, really contact your state representatives, your congressman. A lot of people throw up their hands and say it's not worth it. Down in South Texas, where I'm from, I know the whole 3 state reps that are, and the senator for the state. I know them personally, and I always tell everybody, you call them. And if you don't, if they don't get an answer from them or their aides, call me and I'll call them. Or, you know, because that's what they're there for. Same thing here in Houston and all over. So with that being said, I mean, how do you see the politics and the law, you know, all folding out and trying to stop this juggernaut that keeps going forward? They're trying to take away our rights, Dave. They keep trying to legislate us out of the courthouse.
Well, it's an issue that I face every time I pick a jury. I find it an extremely important moment when I first get to meet a jury panel. And I understand their concerns. Well, isn't it going to affect our insurance rates? Isn't it going to affect what we have to pay the government? You know, our taxes, isn't it going to affect this? Well, I can only say this. As soon as we lose the right to a trial by jury, as soon as companies don't have the real threat of a trial lawyer that says, no, I'm going to stand up to this, I'm not going to take it, my client's not going to take it, and I'm going to be his voice or her voice, as soon as we lose that, we will be run over by these corporations. I truly believe that. And whether insurance are affected or not, we all pay insurance, but we cannot accept companies trying to legislate the right that is guaranteed in our Constitution. That's a big mouthful to say, and it sounds maybe trite, but it's absolutely true. And when we lose it, we lose freedom.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is still America, and we have our freedom of speech, and I'm going to keep on bringing on great trial lawyers, great men, and great family men, 5 kids, keep you busy. But these lawyers are human. Lawyers care about their clients, and we're not asking, you know, for clients or anything. We are putting out a message here on South Texas Crossfire, and I want everyone out there to listen to this. And I want to thank David Matthews and Jason Webster for coming out today. It's been a great honor to be here on Sackett Street here in Houston, Texas. He's allowed me to come on and film here in Houston, and we're going to keep on interviewing the best and the brightest, and someday soon we're going to put this in a documentary and bring this out for the whole world to see. And we're making history here because each and every time these gentlemen come out and go out there and pick a jury in an age when people are saying, oh, lawsuit abuse, and I'm so tired of all this, it's very important to realize that we cannot give away those precious freedoms. This is Joe Flores for South Texas Crossfire, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email dmatthews@thematthewslawfirm.com or call toll-free 888-222-7054 or contact me, Joe, at floreslawfirm.com. We're out of time, but thank you, Dave,
thank you,
and
Joe.
I appreciate the time you've taken.
Thank you.
All right. We're out of time. We got to go. Bye-bye.